Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing today? Donna Ferguson here, financial service professional. Hope you're having a good day. I know it's a public holiday in some places because in some I know people go to work. But today, what I wanted to do was come with quick, well, not so quick. I wanted to um, have a discussion. So if you're listening or watching, please like, share, or comment. If you have any question, you could put it in your comment box. I will be able to see it and answer. So as you might see, I have a post that I put out that I was going live, and I wanted to talk about marriage and the money talk. The When I'm saying marriage and the money talk, I'm not really all just talking about marriage. I'm just talking about any couple, whether you are courting right now, about to get engaged, um, or also married, cohabitating, meaning you're not married. So I quickly want to just talk about, when do we have this discussion about money? Do you wait until, well, first of all, they said that there's a couple of things that either break or make a marriage or a relationship, and it's usually money and infidelity. And I'm not sure where one rank above the other, but nonetheless, we'll have the conversation. So my question is, when do you have the talk? Do you have the talk when your first fight happens? Do you have it while you are courting? Or do you have it want to get engaged and know you're going into a serious committed relationship, or you do it in the marriage as you go along? And I don't believe there's any set ways to do it. There's no set way to do it. Each person know their marriage rhythm or relationship rhythm and know when to do what. But I still say that there are some fundamental things that need to be talked about before entering any kind of relationship. There are couples who might be watching right now who have been together a long time, and as they are going through each situation, they are having the discussion or finding out ways how to settle arguments or plan as they go. Nonetheless, you're having a conversation. So, so the question today: when do you have the discussion? I would want to say the discussion should start while you are courting or dating, because as you are going on dates or going on different events or having conversation, you start to get some ideas as to how your mate deal with finances, how they are spender, or they are saver, or they in between. And sometimes they say opposite attracts. And what you'll find is that one is a spender, one is a saver, and then where the conflict comes in is where one wants to spend more than the other one, and we are trying to figure out what is the balance. But the best way I say to have it is start now. If you never did it before, I would say it is a good place to start today. What are some of the things that I believe that couples have conflict over is, one, when you're ready to go into a relationship, are you going to commingle funds? I know that's a hot topic for some people because if you are an independent person and you normally do your thing, you don't ask anyone any permission, you do whatever you feel, you work, you come home with your money, you do with it as you please. A next person might say, no, we are in a relationship, let's do this together. And usually where the first fight probably comes in is when we are saying, okay, do we take all our funds and put it together, or do we have it separately, and then whatever we need to run also stays in one place. However you want to do it, it's up to you. I just say have the discussion, right? Another thing that you might find that some people are not on the same page with, or I've never discussed until it's probably too late, is where you're in a relationship and the discussion about what kind of debt do you have? Do you have credit card debts? How much? Do you have student loan? How much? Do you have child support? Because not everyone goes in a relationship where each party don't have any children. Some goes into a relationship where one individual might have, and they might have child support outside. They may have alimony outside if they were previously married. These are some of the things that have to be discussed when you're getting ready to commingle. And some people might say, you know what, I don't want to have that argument, that conversation before. It might be embarrassing. It might cause conflict. A relationship might be broken up. But what better time to know what you're getting into? It would be bad, I think, and I don't know if anyone on who is listening have ever seen the first time you know that your spouse or mate have large debt is when you see the bill. Sometimes we don't think about the fact that some of the debt that you go in can affect your marriage. And whereas you think that one individual is the one responsible for it, depending on what state you are, you might be in a community property, whereas whatever debt one person have, it becomes the debt of the next person. And we don't think about that. Or how your finances, even though it is not your child and it's not your child support, that you may be caught up into a situation where child support is affecting your income. Other things that couples might not think about is, what are some of your basic financial goals? Of course, you're going to think about children. Do you want to have children? Putting off those conversations, and some of those things are make or break relationship questions. An individual might not want to have children, and the next person don't know. Or the other ones might say, I have enough children, I can't take on another one. And also depending on the age of the spouse, one might be younger, one might be older, one cannot have children. Those are some of the things that you would want to discuss before you enter in a marriage or in a union. Other things that I think is a must, because it does bring up an issue when someone does pass away or plan. I don't know if anyone have ever been in a situation where you might be cohabitating or you might be engaged, but something happened to the next spouse and you're finding that you have no say in anything. One, maybe because you're not married. You have no say. You are living together for years upon years, and you have no say in what happens to the person that you live with. Whosoever is the immediate, because some state might not recognize common law marriages, and you can't say nothing. Even to make, if someone gets sick, going to a hospital, you who lives with the person probably cannot make any decision for them unless it's written down somewhere. Other things that individuals might not think about, and I know I've heard it many times, is like, have you considered planning, like just financial planning? Are you putting aside money for retirement? Are you putting aside, can we do life insurance on each other and then our children to protect our income? And especially, are we going to be buying a home and have children? These are things that you have to think about, because certain things we don't plan to happen, but sometimes they do. And sometimes we just they have this saying about closing the gate when the hour's gone out already, which is where we don't plan anything. We start to be reactive as opposed to proactive to to the things that comes up, right? So how do you view these things? A lot of the ways how we deal with money issues is how we grow up. How did you see your parents angle money. It could be where you did not come from a family where there's a mom and dad in the home. Or there might be, and it might have been where the father go out, come home, put the check on the table, and the mom decide where the money goes and pay the bills and do whatever need to take care. You might have come from that situation. Or you might come from a single parent home and you have never seen the dynamics between a couple as to how they angle money, right? So how do you do it? It's going to take some adjusting, and it may take a having this conversation is not one time and done. It's ongoing, but it nonetheless, we have to be open enough to have this conversation. Where do I, for example, I don't think that I have always seen myself as an independent person. I work, I do what I want to do. And then when you're now in a marriage, there is the issue and conflict about money. How do you spend it? I consider myself to be a saver. And I consider myself to be conservative in how I spend. So I'm always thinking about not just today, but also tomorrow. How do I plan going forward? What do I put aside for retirement? What do I put aside that if something happened to me immediately, or I'm able to pick up the pieces? My spouse might not be the same way. And you have to take that in. Is it a right or a wrong way? Not necessarily. But once you come to decision as a couple and you adjust according to, it makes for an easier conversation. Many of us don't want to have the conversation, as I said. So the ones who are in a relationship right now, married and have children, or not married but live together. Have you had this discussion with your spouse? Have you done anything that if something should happen to you, you have a will in place? Do you think about what resources you have? Have you named your spouse or mate on any of those financial documents as a beneficiary? Have you done a will? Some people might say, you know what? We ain't got no children yet. Everything that I have gonna go to my spouse. But sometimes it's not as easy and cut and dry as we think it is, because we also have to think, I mentioned before, some people might come in a marriage where they have other children, where they have other family members, and who probably might contest a will or might contest whatever you left behind. And you have this struggle going on where years and years might be committed to a relationship. So even a simple will, even thinking about that, it might be a problem for some individuals. Have you talked about insurance? What would happen? And I've talked about this before, where I've seen it might be the male or female who is the one who's the breadwinner. And the person who stays home, they might say they don't need to have any insurance on them. Why? Because they don't contribute anything to the home. But if you really think about it, if you have children and they're the one who looking after the children, the also whatever it is, you will find that if something should happen to that spouse who stays home, it is going to affect the household, because you would have to find someone who's going to take care of your home, take care of your children, and do the things then that she used to be. And chances are it's going to cost way more than what it expect it should be. And then also just think about, if it's your loved one, what if something happened and your income is no longer there? That person would have to think about how long they're gonna be able to stay without working, or if they were not in the, even if they were your two-income family, the person who passed away, then that income stops. It's now one. How are you going to pick up the pieces? Those are some of the things that you really think about. I know some individuals said, okay, well, I'm married. I don't, if I go take out the life insurance, they go probably to kill me. Oh, no, not going like that. Because guess what? First of all, if someone and one spouse do anything to the next spouse, of course, they're not going to get the life insurance. They're not going to get it, because an investigation is going to take place. So please don't worry about stuff like that. The likelihood of that happen is far and few in between. But I do want to say, take time to have these conversations. Sit down and have a budget. Go over it, change it whenever you need to. There are also discussion on why some people might not have the money discussion. Um, Traditionally, you might find that the husband makes the more money, but in today's role, it's not necessarily always the same. Is your spouse comfortable with you making more money than him? Is he comfortable? Have that discussion now, because that might cause a problem later. So why am I saying to have this money talk early? It is very important. It reduces the amount of fight and conflict you will have. It makes planning the other big stuff once you're in that relationship, make it easier. It makes you want to be more open. It does take adjustment because you're taking two families and coming together as one. So the way a person has grown up will make a difference as how you see money. But you can make your own new tradition. You didn't like how your parents do it differently and make that adjustment. But nonetheless, have the talk. It is very important. Again, as I said, they say the two biggest conflict is in infidelity and money. Get rid of the first one, which is money problem. Let's talk about it and plan, people. Plan. Don't wait until there is an emergency. Plan. So with that, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to say, if you have any questions, you can still share it in your comment section. I will answer it. If you ever need to reach out to me, you can inbox me, or you can, inbox me or visit my website. I'll put that in the comment and the post. And if you wanted to do a quick meeting, 10-15 minutes to talk about some of these things, because you might not know all of the questions that you want to talk about, or whereas you might be afraid to bring it up with each other, I can pull out those questions as a couple and have those conversations. And then also you can do a 10-15 minutes virtual meeting, and we can see what's your goal, what concerns you, and put some of those plans in place. Have a great afternoon and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.